no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
I'm saying he should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon Jones. He's the GOAT. So leave him alone. If he decides one day to come back, and he comes back and he wants to fight Tom Aspinall.
The MMA world is in shock. Joe Rogan didn't hold back when Jon Jones suddenly announced his retirement. Sure, Rogan admitted that every fighter has the right to walk away, but that didn't make this moment any less frustrating. He felt let down, especially because Jones' decision came right when everyone was waiting for that massive showdown with top contender Tom Aspinall. On his podcast and during interviews, Rogan made it clear the timing was off and it stung. Still, he found a silver lining. At least now Tom Aspinall finally gets the respect he deserves. Rogan has always given credit where it's due. He's praised Jon Jones' legacy many times, but he also believes that if you're the champ, you have a responsibility. Either defend your belt or step aside. Now that Dana White confirmed the retirement publicly, Rogan feels the division can finally breathe again. Tom Aspinall is now the guy to beat, but this raises big questions. What's next for the heavyweight scene?
For them to come out and do a press release and say that Jon Jones is retiring, that's enough, okay? But do you guys think that Jon Jones is really actually done with fighting, being a combatant? Or is he trying to do similar to what Floyd did?
At the UFC Baku post-fight press conference, Dana White made things crystal clear. He told reporters Jon Jones had called the UFC himself and made it official. He was done, retired, no comeback. That meant Tom Aspinall, who had been holding on to the interim belt, would now become the real, undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. This was the end of months of rumors and uncertainty. Would Jones return? Would he unify the titles with Aspinall? That answer came loud and clear from White. Jon Jones was finished with fighting, and the UFC had no choice but to move on and hand the reins to Aspinall.
Timeline for Jones, 2 weeks to decide what to do with the title, whether it takes the fight or you're going to strip him. What do you think is more important, to keep the belt there so he can uphold his legacy, or we move the heavyweight division, take the title away from him?
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Joe Rogan's first reaction? He was torn. A part of him understood, he even predicted it in earlier podcasts, that Jones might walk away instead of fighting Tom. After all, Jones had already achieved so much. But when it finally happened, Rogan didn't hold back. He said the way Jones did it wasn't fair. Not to the fans, not to the other fighters, and not to the sport. Retiring without clearing up the division only left chaos behind. Still, now that the belt belongs to Aspinall, at least there's no more confusion. The title isn't being held hostage anymore.
Jon Jones still at the top of the fight game. There's been some talk that he's not wanting to fight Tom Aspinall right now. Your thoughts on that? Do you think he's negotiating, delaying? Thoughts on that?
Well, I kind of felt like he was negotiating. Jon Jones told me personally after his last fight that he wanted to retire. Father Time is undefeated. I fought Jon Jones when I was on my way out. He was a young kid. And so I think it's unfair what he's doing, but I didn't have a legacy like his.
Rogan also addressed a big rumor that had been floating around. There were talks that Jon Jones wanted $30 million, 0 cents, to fight Aspinall. Rogan even mentioned it on his podcast. But later, Dana White personally called him and told him that number was completely wrong. Rogan owned up to his mistake. He admitted he was wrong and took it back. But the fact that people were even talking about such a huge amount showed just how bad things had gotten between Jones and the UFC. To Rogan, it felt like Jones never really wanted that fight. Maybe he was looking for a way out the whole time.
The fight with Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall will never happen. He's going to ride this wave as long as he can. He might even sign the contract to take the fight, but the fight will not happen, bro. It just won't. We got to get over it. We got to just move on. And I feel bad for Tom Aspinall because he's going to have to wait forever to get that title.
After the announcement, other fighters started speaking up. Some were shocked, others were downright upset. A few even said Jones was ducking the fight with Aspinall, but many also took a moment to honor what he's done for the sport. No one can deny Jon Jones's place in MMA history. He came in strong, destroyed the light heavyweight division, and became a legend when he beat Mauricio Shogun Rua back in March 2011. That third-round TKO was just the beginning. After that, he defended his belt 8 times against the best Quinton Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, and Alexander Gustafsson. The list is long and legendary.
Praying that I would, because there is nowhere that you can find publicly, nowhere, him saying that he will fight me. It doesn't exist. I challenge anybody watching this interview to go and find a statement, a quote, a video where Jon Jones is saying that he'll fight me after he's fought Stipe. It doesn't exist. The guy's smart. Since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet, and he'll continue to go completely quiet about me until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
His reign didn't end in the cage, but outside it. A failed drug test stripped him of the title, but Jones bounced back. He reclaimed the light heavyweight belt and defended it 3 more times before giving it up voluntarily to chase the heavyweight dream. He finally made that move in March 2023 and submitted Cyril Gane in the very first round, becoming a 2-division UFC champion. Everyone thought the next step would be a super fight with Stipe Miocic, but then came an injury, and when the time came to face Tom Aspinall, Jones chose retirement instead.
I agree.
I think John would have beat him.
So why do you think it didn't happen? Because Ariel did say the deal went through. The money he wanted.
Nigga probably scared. You know what I'm saying? The deal went through. How much money was it though?
He probably got the fuck you money that he said. He probably got that.
How did he not take that?
I would have
took it too.
I would have took that fight.
He could have retired off that, right?
Hell yeah.
So what do you think's gonna happen? That's it? He's never fighting again. It can't be the end though.
I think he's gonna come back.
It's probably like a negotiation ploy. He probably won't.
Fans had been picking up on it for months. Jones seemed annoyed every time the Aspinall fight was mentioned. There was one moment that really stood out. During a podcast interview, someone asked him about the potential bout, and he just got up, said, "See you later," and left. That clip went viral. To a lot of people, it was confirmation Jones wasn't planning to defend his title against the younger Brit. Meanwhile, the UFC was stuck. They didn't know whether to wait for Jones to return or to move on without him.
Jon Jones officially retired. My thing is, bro, I'm not upset about the fact that he retired, but why did he wait so long? Like, if you weren't gonna fight Tom Aspinall, you should have just retired after the Stipe Miocic fight. Like, what was the point of all of this shit, man? Like, he wasted the fans' time, he wasted the UFC's time, he wasted Tom Aspinall's time. And don't get me wrong, Jon Jones is still the GOAT, his resume speaks for itself, but my thing is, man, he just left a sour taste to the fans. Like, the fact that you retired like this, it's gonna make you look bad forever. Because
Dana White did try to manage expectations. He made it clear that if Jones didn't want to fight, they'd have to move forward. He said the UFC couldn't stay on hold forever, even Aspinall was getting tired of waiting. He said he was ready to fight anyone, he just needed a clear path. Well, now he has it. After Jones's retirement, Aspinall gave a statement saying he's proud to finally be recognized as the real champion, and he's already said he's ready to start building his legacy. He wants to fight again soon. That means the UFC will likely announce his next matchup soon.
Last night said, "Hey, I'm done," and Tom Aspinall is now the official UFC heavyweight champion. Dana has said no #1 contenders to be had yet. They're going to try to figure that out this week. So it looks like Tom Aspinall will be fighting soon, hopefully in the next.
Dana White also said he plans to sit down with Aspinall during International Fight Week in Las Vegas. They're going to figure out who he'll face next, with the likely names Cyril Gane or Sergey Pavlovich. As for Jon Jones, his legacy is now the subject of heated debate. Some people say he retired to protect his reputation and avoid a dangerous fight. Others argue he's already proven himself and earned the right to leave on his terms. Either way, one thing is clear, Jon Jones's reign is over, at least for now.
Officially out. He called Dana White last night, and he is retired. No more talk about Jon Jones and speculation. Tom Aspinall is the world champion for heavyweight. Best of luck in your life, Jon Jones. You've given us a great show over the years, and we wish you all the luck in the world. Take care.
For Aspinall and the fans, this is a moment of relief. He's been out of action for nearly a year, stuck in limbo because no one knew what Jones was going to do. Aspinall earned the interim belt with a brutal first-round knockout of Sergey Pavlovich at Madison Square Garden last November. That win, on short notice, was supposed to lead straight to a unification bout with Jones. But that never happened. Instead, Jones kept being vague about his return, and now finally Dana White confirmed his retirement. Aspinall is officially the heavyweight king, and the UFC can finally move forward.
Guys, I have never seen a fight that we wanted that we've then been denied. No different than the girl at school that you're chasing and she's telling you no. Lose steam. This fight is a smaller fight now than it was 3 months ago. Aspinall versus Jones, which, by the way, I don't maintain for that it could be resurrected one press conference or one Instagram live by Dana. I'm just sharing for you right now. Jones and Aspinall was not only hotter 3 months ago, it was hotter than that 5 months ago. And it is coming to an almost crawl.
Right after the announcement, Aspinall didn't waste time. He jumped on Instagram and sent a powerful message to fans. He posted a photo of himself holding the official Undisputed belt and wrote, "For you fans, it's time to get this heavyweight division going. An active Undisputed champion." That short post said it all. Fans loved it. The comments were full of support. One fan even joked, "You just retired the GOAT," pointing out that Jon Jones stepped away before ever facing Aspinall. It wasn't an official win, but it sure felt like a symbolic one for a lot of people. And it showed that fans respect Aspinall for wanting to fight, not just hold on to a belt.
You know, that's the hard thing about giving opinions on this, because it's just opinions. Like, we don't know the facts of what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's been said from Jon's side or Aspinall's side, and you know, I do give Aspinall the benefit of the doubt, believing that, you know, if he didn't think the Jon Jones fight was going to happen, like, he probably would have taken another fight. You know, where we're comparing it with the Chandler situation. You know, it felt to me, I was a little more adamant about that because it felt to me like...
Now, Aspinall can finally focus on what's next, and it looks like he might fight again very soon, maybe even in July. Rumors are flying that the UFC is planning a big card in Manchester, and who better to headline that than the newly crowned British champ? Dana White already confirmed that they want to bring a major pay-per-view event back to the UK. Having Aspinall defend the title on home soil, that would be massive, especially now that he's officially recognized as the undisputed heavyweight champion. The fans in the UK would go wild for it.
And of course, it's been pretty interesting, all the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week, and I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions, and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion, and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me.
When someone asked Aspinall who he wants to fight next, he was honest. He said he wants a rematch with Curtis Blades, the only guy who ever beat him in the UFC. Their first fight didn't really get going as Aspinall injured his leg in the opening seconds, and that was it, a freak accident. No one really got to see what could have happened between the two. A rematch would give both of them a chance to finish what they started and settle the score properly.
Obviously now lose Jon with either fighting you or retiring.
Yeah, that's off the table now. The Alex Pereira fight at heavyweight or any other weight really. I mean, I guess you could still fight him at light heavy, I guess, but it won't be for a title. Yeah, Jon, there's only one thing to do, mate. Sign the contract and let's get a date going. And I know we seen last night Dana White was talking.
Listen, Jon Jones definitely wants to fight. Just when and where is what we're working on now.
So we're waiting for that.
Aspinall doesn't hate Blades. In fact, he said nice things about him, even called him a good guy. But the competitor in him wants that one back. He wants to erase the only loss on his UFC record. For Aspinall, getting that win would mean everything. It wouldn't just be about revenge. It would be about proving he truly belongs at the very top of the division. And it's a fight that fans would love to see just as much.
From a marketing standpoint, from a landscape of where the UFC is standpoint, that would be a complete pay-per-view disaster.
We'd see the strength of the UFC brand at Madison Square Garden if that ends up being, because all respect to Tom, but he has never headlined a pay-per-view, so plopping him at the top of Madison Square Garden against Gane, I think would be tough, but we'll see what they can do.
Another name that's been tossed around is Cyril Gane. During an interview with Ariel Helwani, Aspinall mentioned him too. But he didn't sound hopeful. According to Aspinall, Gane's turned him down several times. He even claimed that Gane refused the Pavlovich fight too, and that's how Aspinall ended up getting it. The way he sees it, Gane avoids risky matchups. That didn't sit right with a lot of people, and it definitely didn't sit right with Gane himself.
I'm imposing an International Fight Week deadline. Right here and now, I'm imposing this deadline. By the way, they announced that they're going to do a press conference tour for Canelo Crawford, and one of the stops is June 27th, the day before Ilya versus Charles, International Fight Week, 317. I'm imposing an International Fight Week deadline. An announcement must be made. A decision must be made. That's when the eyes of the MMA world.
Gane wasn't going to stay quiet. He hit back on social media, denying everything. He said he never ducks fights. According to him, the UFC offered him the Pavlovich bout, and he said yes right away. I never ever say no to any challenge or opponent, Gane wrote. Blades was never an option. They said Pavlovich, I said yes, don't worry, I'll see you in September, stop tripping. That message was aimed straight at Aspinall. Gane wanted to clear the air, and maybe even keep the door open for a fight later this year.
Now he's looking down at a young man, and it's like, he's not scared. Make no mistake about it. But I think it's enough to like question it. And you know what I think a big worry might be for him? Because with Aspinall, he could potentially get knocked out. Like legitimately knocked out and put on his back and out cold. And I just don't know that he wants to have that visual of him in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough.
But September might be too far away for Aspinall. He's made it clear he wants to fight sooner. If he does return in July and defends his belt successfully, then what? Could a fight with Jon Jones still happen? Or maybe even with Stipe Miocic? Miocic and Jones were supposed to fight for more than a year, but injuries and now retirement got in the way. If Stipe is still willing, Aspinall might welcome the challenge, but he's not waiting around. He wants to stay active. That's his priority.
Jon Jones is retired, but if he never steps into the cage with you and you two never fight, what do you think that does for his legacy, but also for your legacy? Is it possible for you to be the best and be the greatest without beating him?
That's someone else's opinion, to be honest. It doesn't really matter to me.
That sort of stuff doesn't bother
No,
you, as long as you're fighting the people that are in front of you.
I can only control what I can control.
This whole Jon Jones situation has been building for a long time. Fans were stuck waiting, unsure if he'd defend his title or just retire. He gave interviews. He hinted at wanting to fight, but he never gave a date, and sometimes he seemed more interested in the idea of fighting Alex Pereira, a fantasy matchup that would have required Pereira to jump to heavyweight. The UFC never really considered that one, and while all this dragged on, the division sat still. A lot of fans and experts were calling for the UFC to strip Jones of the title. But now that's no longer needed. Dana White made it official in Baku. Jones is out.
After this Nelk interview, this has to be a joke. Surely Dana is going to have to strip Jon Jones, because this can't keep happening. Like, you're the heavyweight champion, it's your job to defend the belt. And if you don't want to defend it, then retire. It's so strange to me. It's strange how the UFC keeps defending him. He's still the heavyweight champion but won't fight. And what is he expecting by going on all of these media tours when people bring up the question of Tom Aspinall? Like, he's on a media tour.
The announcement sent shockwaves through the MMA world. Even Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champ, had something to say about it. He'd commented before that champions should be expected to defend their belts regularly. On the Overdogs podcast, he said that while he respected everything Jon Jones had done, it just wasn't fair to keep everyone waiting. Especially when there's an interim champ already in place, that should have meant a unification fight right away.
And the fans shouldn't even have to make a petition to strip Jon Jones of the belt. That just shows you how dumb the UFC matchmaking is, especially when it comes to Jon Jones and all the way that the UFC operates around Jon Jones. The way that Jon Jones has Dana and the organization by the nuts is crazy.
Volkanovski was blunt. If you're the champ, you defend your belt. It's your job. You can't just sit out. You need to be active. You fight whoever's there. He wasn't afraid to call it like it is. Just because someone is a legend doesn't mean they should hold up an entire division. So if you don't want to fight, retire, he said, or vacate the title. You can't have it both ways.
What do you make of like Tom Aspinall and all the things that he's been saying about you?
I think he's awesome, man.
Hello, John.
I have nothing against you personally, but I just think I'm better than you. I just know that I can beat you.
I think he should go on and have a wonderful career. He's not in a position to like excite me, because if I whoop his ass, it's gonna be the next guy. There's gonna be a whole new fan base of somebody who everybody believes in. I've done this my whole adult life.
Now that Jones is officially gone, Aspinall's position is solid. He's the undisputed champion. He's already back in the gym, and the UFC is preparing to book his next fight. This is a fresh start for the heavyweight division. The Jon Jones drama may have slowed things down, but Aspinall is bringing new energy. He's open, honest, and ready to fight. Whether it's Curtis Blades, Cyril Gane, or someone else, Aspinall has made one thing clear. He's not afraid of anyone. He just wants to fight and keep the division moving. He's the champ now, and he's not planning to sit on the belt.